Welcome to the WowFactor Podcast. And today we have a very special guest as usual. Here he holds a Bachelor of Physiotherapy from the University of Cyberjaya. He's the president-elect of the Rotary Club of Johor Bahru, Sentral. And he's the founder and chief physiotherapist at QI Physiotherapy. I introduce you to none other than Aloysius. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Sam. Yeah. It's an honor to be on your show. Yep, I'm definitely not the president yet for Rotary Club. I'm the president-elect, so that's something to keep in mind first.
Great. So just to stand corrected, he's the president-elect of the Rotary Club of Johor Bahru.
Yes.
All right. So as we kickstart this, give a brief introduction and maybe introduce yourself to the audience. Who is Aloysius?
Well, I'm Aloysius, as we all know. I am a physiotherapist by profession, a qualified time. I have established QI Physiotherapy, and I am a sole proprietor of this business. Currently, no one is employed under me. So I'm working towards building Physio in Johor Bahru, and of course, making Physio more better understanding when it comes to Malaysians' understanding about Physio and what we do and what we are in the healthcare sector.
Oh, that's great. So in a layman's language, what is physiotherapy?
Okay, and physiotherapy is in a qualified healthcare profession with proper training and educational background. Our ultimate goal is to provide a better to function physically. So that's what is physiotherapy is. So we basically help everyone who is injured or for illness, not able to walk or not able to function with their hands. We will help you to regain those functions.
So it's more of it's the profession of helping people to recover their physical abilities in things they used to do before. Is it something like that?
Yes, correct. So if you have a physical ability to help you to recover from them and have a better quality of life ultimately.
Oh, great. So in your line of profession, what have been the common misconceptions that the Malaysians have about physiotherapy that you have found?
This is a very good question. Even during my studies and now as a working physiotherapist, number one, we have always been mistaken as a massage therapist. And many massage parlors out there are not qualified physiotherapists and they call themselves physio. So it's something that I experienced during and after my studies. I'm often asked a question, what do you do or what do you study? So whenever I give a reply that I do physiotherapy, the most common reply I get from the public is massage, urut, which means massage in Malay. So those are the common replies that I get all the time whenever I have been asked. And this definitely frustrates me, getting this kind of response. But sometimes I just stay calm and explain clearly to them that we are not, and we play a vital role in the multidisciplinary healthcare industry and in different kinds of specializations like orthopedic injuries, cardiorespiratory, neurology, geriatric.
And that is a grave misconception. So what do you think can be done to flip this around?
Well, this misconception, I think, has been around in Malaysia for quite some time. I think, number one, name of our profession for those massage parlors. I think there should be more awareness of, especially the healthcare ministry, about our profession, and explaining to the public that, or try massage parlors that are open and telling them that these are not what we do. And awareness is to tell them that we do massage. But that's throughout. In this way, I think education is there to tackle the problem, but I think the awareness of the public is not sufficient enough to understand what we do. So we need to have more people, or maybe the media, or anyone.
All right. Okay. Okay, at least we have covered more on the misconceptions. So you founded, let's talk more about your company. You founded QI Physiotherapy. What services do you offer, and what drove you to found it?
Yeah, definitely. Physiotherapy was founded to provide physio service. And this was founded just before the pandemic started. And it was a risky time for me. But luckily, I started off by just providing home physio service. And I did not have a physical to your home, and I provide the service to you. But my principal focus and special therapy for pain injuries related to spine problems, and also stroke rehabilitation and post-surgical rehab focus. And as now I'm working on my own, these are my strong focus. And of course, future, as an aging population grows, they require people to take care of them when they fall ill. QI Physio was just built to provide home physio, and as due to the pandemic, I didn't go further into having a center. But building up, one of the plans were to provide a certificate training course to helpers, mates, members that are closely taking care of their elderly, in order to have them have a proper knowledge for them to easily care for their elderly at home. So one of the plans of QI Physiotherapy, I'm trying to make a difference in physio and provide this kind of little trainings to people. They could understand how to take care of these geriatrics.
Wow, that's quite broad. So while you're starting that, did you face any challenges? Or what challenges are you facing, and what were the probable solutions that you have for that?
Right. So the challenges I face is actually quite I think in QI Physio. I think for all businesses, marketing is something that is very important to boost a business. And and for some of the challenges I face as well, due to the pandemic, many people could not afford to pay for private health care. And I think during the lockdown in Malaysia, which started in, I think it was in March, the business has to stop for a couple of months without any income coming in. And in May or June, I think May, there was a second lockdown. The business started to climb slowly. So what Chief Physiotherapy did to overcome this very hard to seek healthcare providers to collaborate with us. And currently, Chief Physiotherapy has collaborated with orthopedic surgeons even to work with us. The main idea is to provide home physio service to their patients. Yeah. So those are the challenges that we face. And because the business started off just before the pandemic, but we're definitely looking everywhere and can to slowly build up the business. And the ultimate goal is to, at later stages, to open a Chief Physio Rehab and Training Center headquarters in Johor Bahru. As the current economic state, as we know, it's not the right time to open up a center.
Very true. So what would be your predictions in terms of how the world would recover to this, and in line with your profession of physio?
My predictions. Well, I think this question to grow Chief Physio. I think everyone in the current state is trying to be optimistic for the pandemic to end as soon as possible, back to normal. But of course, in another way, healthcare sectors are not really affected by the pandemic. But of course, when it comes to do not want to invest in their health, and so people like to clap up, go to the government hospitals to be treated because it's free healthcare, and definitely Malaysians are lucky to have that. So patients is I want or Chief Physiotherapy or physiotherapy to really, or physiotherapy profession to really grow in Malaysia, and trying having so that we can be considered as a professional provider.
Right. So as right now, everybody is working from home. That's the current state. So what would be like your best advice for people who are working from home in terms of what should they do to keep their bodies in shape, or what kind of office setup can they create to have at least a less painful kind of work life, since it's now mostly work from home?
Yes, we definitely, all of us are, I think most of us are working from home. And working, you will be sitting for long hours on the computer or doing work, and sitting down for long hours can cause pain and aches. So most commonly, the pains that they will experience is lower back pain, neck pain, and wrists if you're on a keyboard. Definitely, if you talk about ergonomic, yeah, there are a lot of ergonomic chairs out there that you could buy, could use to provide you some support and review. That's not just it, because this sitting down for one thing is, it causes a lot of pressure. Advice I would give, rather than going out there to look for the most expensive or ergonomic chairs for you to sit on, my best advice is give yourself maybe around 5 to 10 minutes break in between work. Walk around, stretch your spine. And whenever you stretch your spine, always bend. When you're sitting down, you're always forward. So bend backward, look up, stretch your wrists and your fingers outwards. Lift up your shoulders above your head and stretch as far as you can. So these are the things you could do, 5 to 10 minutes break between. These simple exercises could actually help you to prevent those takes. And another advice I would also give for those that you could do as well, some little things. Maybe try to adjust computer screen, having your computer screen below your eye level where you have to bend forward to look into the screen. And that is what the backache is going to come, because you're bending forward for a long time. And that's not so good for you. And if you have an adjustable chair, either way, you adjust your level of the chair. And if you're on a computer, rested on the desk. So you can adjust the screen if you have, maybe stack it up, adjust the chair, and have your hands on the desk for too long.
Wow, those seem like simple things that we're definitely going to ignore. I think people would opt for buying the very most expensive chair, most expensive mouse that has the word ergonomic attached to it.
Yes, you're correct. And those things are quite expensive. And I think you don't want those things because, I mean, I'm not saying they're not good. I support people who make economical chairs and equipments or things that could help you. But of course, you need to do those simple exercises to release those aches.
Wow. So we're going to take a flip in a different direction. I want to ask more in a line of education. Do you think it is important, or should people just go into their passions and begin businesses? What is your take on that?
Good question. Definitely education is, for me, education or to understand better what we want to be doing in the future. Because you definitely you require a basic knowledge. If I don't know what I am doing, and how are we going to bring out that passion together to a related profession business? We do have to go through a basic qualification, like a degree, to be but we do definitely have diplomas. Encourage everyone to get a degree in physio, and it's definitely. But for me, education is there because the education core structure of those 4 years and the things that you learn through the books are all general techniques. And of course, throughout the course, practical to various hospitals. And that's actually, as a physiotherapist, it is a very important point in your profession that you should concentrate your practical perspective. So in education-wise, that is already an important part of it. Because our skill is very, I'm a specialized manual therapist, and I strongly advocate of this traditional method of first and foremost using the hand. So the ultimate question is, yes, education is important if you want to start a business. But of course, I think many or some knowledge to steer the objective for the business.
Wow, so that means the ones that are trying to dodge school and go right into business have got a slap in their face.
Yeah, well, if you're properly trained, then if you're talking about a professional business like a physiotherapist, as healthcare is something that you don't, you are, and to someone that is ill, and if you do not have that knowledge, you much patients, and they may injure them further. So, but if like a professional business, yes, education is important, and at least you have the background behind you.
Okay, great. So let's say that you have a chance to talk to your 19-year-old self. What would be your best advice to them?
Well, you're 19 years old, and I think most people at 19 years old is starting to look for what you want to know. So have a proper target set for yourself and understand what you're good at before choosing this would minimize the change of mind before and after you graduate. And always look forward is short, and any mistakes you make in between, nobody will clean up after you, but only yourself. Sometimes and pick the right advice, maybe from your family or your friends, but those advice given to you, you got to also understand your decision.
My most notable one is no one is going to clean up after what you've done. So you have to be ready to account for all the things you've done on your age of 19. All right. So how would you like to be remembered?
I like to be remembered as a physiotherapist and disabled lives, which will allow them to have a better quality of life, to look forward into the future. So that's how I would like to be remembered.
Great. It has been awesome having you on board. So would you have to like to give us any final remarks to the audience?
Right. So my final thing to studying physio or a physiotherapist, this is just have and remind yourself in a healthcare profession, and bear in mind so well known, or or the public does not really understand. Just keep a few words in mind. Although all these things behind me that I face, I always have a few words to say to myself, even throughout my education and working life, is what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that is something I tell myself. And I also love to tell myself, great things does not come. These are the two little words that I always say to myself, and you could also say to yourself whenever you are facing difficulties, and especially during this pandemic.
All right. So you said that. Sorry. So you said that there are two main words that keep you going is what does not kill you makes you stronger, and
correct. And the second one, okay, yeah. Great things never comes from zones.
All right. Great things don't come from comfort zones. Perfect. Okay. At least those ones I'll keep reminding myself that there's no comfort zone for me if I want great stuff to come my way. All right. So it has been awesome having you on board for the WowFactor podcast. I'm honored that you came and joined us and shared your words of wisdom. And I'm very sure that the audience is definitely going to put many of these things in practice, as many of them are working from home. And many of them, I'm sure, didn't have a clear understanding of what physiotherapy is. Even I myself have learned a few things in this conversation. Thank you so much, Aloysius.
Yeah, and definitely thank you. For having me. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be useful to many people. And I hope that this podcast will be usef having me in your podcast. Honor to finally actually to meet and you, although it's through Zoom. It's a pleasure to let everyone understand that we can, we can all make a difference in.
Amazing. Thank you for being among the world changers. All right, as I sign off, I'd like to always remind the audience that the future is bright ahead. Let's go win. Thank you.
Thank you.